What's up, everybody? Today I just wanted to do a quick review of the Aegis Gear Aegis Enhanced belt. I'm finally getting around to doing an individual review on this belt. I actually reviewed this in a comparison video several months ago alongside Tenacore Zero belt, which I'm wearing today, and this is my favorite gun belt, and the Blue Alpha Gear Low Profile EDC belt. Now, I've done individual reviews on both of those other belts, so if you haven't watched those 3 videos, I would definitely check them out if you're in the market for a new gun belt. Before we begin, I would just like to remind you that a lot of this is subjective by nature, so your mileage may vary. And to start out, I would just like to share a quick story. It's the same experience I shared on my comparison video, and that is that when I was new to carrying concealed, I bought into the idea that I needed to run out and buy the thickest, stiffest gun belt I could find. And for me, that actually proved to be a mistake. For several reasons. First and foremost was comfort. This belt is so stiff that after 10 or 12 hours of carrying, it would actually dig into my hip bone and become uncomfortable. Now, part of that has to do with my body type. I'm 6 feet tall, 165 pounds, so I really don't have a lot of meat over my hip bones. The second aspect, which led me to consider other belts, was the buckle on this. As you can see, it's huge. It's just really thick and really bulky, and I found it challenging to conceal with a tight, form-fitting shirt. And the third and final aspect was the hula hoop effect that this creates when you sit down. No, it's not uncomfortable. It just feels like you have a hula hoop threaded through your belt loops when you sit down. And for me personally, it was just really annoying. Not uncomfortable, just annoying. Now, those are the 3 main reasons why I switched from carrying the Aegis Gear to a Blue Alpha, and then eventually I switched to Tenacore Zero belt, and that has become my everyday EDC belt. So with those things said, let's get into the review of the actual belt. As you can see, it's 1.5 inches wide. I chose the Coyote Brown. It's almost 1/4 inch thick. Like I said, it's really thick. It's actually 2.5 layers. It has 2 layers of their proprietary scuba webbing, and then a third, much thinner layer of kind of a really stiff nylon facing material that just increases the overall stiffness and rigidity of the belt. And this belt is really stiff. I mean, you could carry a 10, 12 pound loadout every day, no problem on this belt. You can see the lateral stiffness and rigidity is great. I can barely get this to give at all, squeezing as hard as I can. The belt is truly bomb-proof. As far as the buckle is pretty cool. Other than the fact that it's too bulky for my liking, it's got some cool features. 1, it's infinitely adjustable. 2, it's built like a tank. 3, it's got this cool bar that you just slide over, and it basically pins the belt in place or captures it and doesn't allow it to slip or loosen at all on its own. In fact, the harder I pull, the more this bar seems to clamp down on the belt. And when you want to adjust your belt, all you have to do is just slide the metal bar over, adjust it, and then slide it back to lock the belt in place. Now, when I first was looking at this belt, I was a little nervous about this design, that this bar might slowly work itself loose throughout the day, allowing my belt to slip and loosen on its own. But in 1.5 years, I never had that happen once. This bar always stayed over nice and snug. My belt never experienced any kind of slippage on its own. So the buckle's really cool, and the infinite adjustability is a really nice feature of this belt. Now, as far as build quality, like I said, build quality is phenomenal. This thing is built like a tank. I'm confident that it will last most users a lifetime. As you can see, I wore it every day for 1.5 years, and it looks brand new. And on my holsters, I run discreet carry concept clips, which are metal clips, and anyone familiar with those knows they're kind of notorious for being hard on belts. Well, after a year and a half, my belt shows absolutely no sign of any kind of wear and tear. Very, very high quality. The scuba webbing they use is some of the best I've ever run across. Very high quality, extremely well done. If you're in the market for a thick, super stiff belt, I would definitely consider this belt. It's got a lot of nice features. It just didn't work for me personally. It was a little too stiff and a little too bulky. With that being said, I hope that this review kind of helped you, gave you some insights. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.